Hi guys, so today or right now you are going to learn a little bit about finding surface area. This is another thing that we didn't have time to get to during our normal class time, so you're going to kind of lead yourself through this lesson. And I'm also going to link a couple pages and other videos that you could watch in case you needed just a second look or you wanted to hear it from somebody else's perspective or you just need to hear it a second time. Because I know that this topic can get a little confusing sometimes. So just a reminder, these are some examples of like what rectangular prisms are. And I know that name sounds kind of complicated, but truly it's just a rectangular shaped box. So like a box of cereal. It has 6 different sides. It's walls on each side. It's a rectangular prism. It has space inside and there are, a bunch of sides. A card box, a Kleenex box, a shoe box. So the purpose of surface area is to figure out what the area is on the outside of the box. So let's imagine that you were so nice and so generous and you bought this Wii for somebody for their birthday. And you see what this box is shaped like. It's a rectangle. There's space inside. It has walls, or it's covered on each side. And let's say you wanted to wrap this in wrapping paper. So you would need to know how much wrapping paper you needed. So you would need enough wrapping paper to cover every single side of this box so that nobody could see what it was. So that is what surface area is you're finding out the area of all the space on the outside. So I need to figure out the area of this side, of this side, of this side, of the side that's sitting on the table, of this side that's facing away from us here, and of the opposite side that's the same as this. So actually, for rectangular prisms, you have 3 sets of identical sides. So if you're looking at this Wii box, we see we have this front side here where it says Wii. This size is the exact same on the opposite side. So there is another side that is this exact same size. So we have 2 sides that have this area. If you look at this smaller little rectangle here, this side is actually the exact same size as the exact opposite side of that. So we have 2 sides that are the exact same area. And then this side is going to be the exact same size and exact same area as the side on the bottom. So essentially, a rectangular prism is made up of 3 different sides. That sounds weird together. So if I can figure out what the area of this side is, I can multiply that by 2 because I have 2 sides that are this size. If I can find what the area of this is, I can multiply that by 2 because I have 2 sides that are that size. And if I can figure out what this is, I can multiply that by 2 because I have 2 sides that are that size. So essentially, to find the surface area, I have to find 3 different areas and multiply it by 2. So I'm going to show you what it looks like if I was working through this on IXL. So here's my problem. What is the surface area? For cubes and rectangular prisms, you do it almost the same. Let's do rectangular prisms first. Let's start here. So here I have a rectangular prism, and I can see I've got a side here, a side here, and a side here. Because I know this is a rectangular prism, that means I have 2 sides that are this size, 2 sides that are this size, and 2 sides that are this size. So I need to find this area, and this area. So I'm going to start with this largest side here. We know area of a rectangle is length times width. Nothing's changed, same old, same old. So my length is 4, and this side here is actually 3. So for that area, it's going to be area equals, I'm going to make this a little smaller. For this one here, I'm just going to do, we're going to do side 1. We're going to call this side 1. 4 times 3. 4, oh my gosh, this is messy, times 3, okay, which equals 12. And then we're measuring in millimeters. Millimeters. Wow, that's ugly. Squared. Okay, so if this side has an area of 12 millimeters squared, then the side exact opposite is another side that has 12 millimeters squared. So I'm going to do 12 millimeters those little ends are really hard to write on this, times 2, and that is going to give me 24 millimeters squared. So that is one set of area. Now I'm going to, we'll do this side right here, which has a length of 1 and a width of 3. We're just going to find the area of that side. So area equals 1 times 3, which we know equals 3 millimeters squared. And because I know I have two sides that are that same length, I'm going to multiply this by 2. And so my area for the sides that are this size is 6 millimeters squared. See, my handwriting is getting neater. And then our last side is this one here. So we do have to pay very close attention so we know what our side lengths are, because if we don't use the right side lengths, then we will not get the right answer, obviously. So 3, we're going to do our third side. Area equals. Okay, so if this length is 4, then this length is also 4. So one of my side lengths is 4. That kind of looks like a 9. It's a 4. And if this little side length is 1, then that means its opposite side is 1 as well. So it's 4 by 1. So this area is 4 millimeters squared. And again, I need to multiply that by 2. So I need to do 4 times 2 equals 8 millimeters. Oh my gosh, that's really hard to write. Squared. Okay, so now I have my two large sides, this side plus its opposite, my two shorter, skinnier sides and its opposite, and I have the longer, skinnier side and its opposite. So in order to find the entire surface area, so the area of every single side that's facing the outside, I now need to add all of these up. So I'm going to do 24 plus 6 plus 8. I have 4 plus 6, which is 10. 10 plus 8 equals 18. I'm going to carry my 1. 2 plus 1 gives me 3. So my surface area of this rectangular prism is 38 square millimeters. It's still area, surface area, so it's measured in square units. There we go. Okay, so if you need more help with this, you can either rewatch this video or you could take a look at some of the other videos that I have posted. Yeah. Maybe for your notes for your page, why don't you write down? We're going to clear this. Okay, so I'm going to type it. So we could write that surface area is the sum of all areas facing outwards on a rectangular or why don't we say surface area is the sum of all areas facing outwards. Yeah, why don't we stick with that? Outwards on a rectangular prism. And if you want to reword it differently based on how you interpreted it, that's totally fine. But we're going to say surface area is the sum of all areas facing outwards on a rectangular prism. And what I mean by sum is that you add up every single area that is facing outwards on this shape. I hope this was helpful. I will link others in case you need to hear it from somebody else, and good luck.